Finally, J Sharp, my own time slot in the building. A place where I can do my thing. Say the things that I feel like need to be said. Get some stuff off my chest. I hope everybody's ready, cause we get ready to do some real talking up in here. Here we go. You know who it is. Yeah. I've been waiting for a chance to speak my heart, so it's time for real talk with your man J Sharp. Nothing's off limits, we'll talk about it all. So sit back, relax, and let's have a ball. Bringing my swag to the topics of the world, saying what most folks won't, cause I'm that bold. Let's have some fun, cause the show's about to start. Are you ready for real talk with your man J Sharp?
Welcome, everybody. We are back. You are hanging out with your man. It is a brand new season of Real Talk with J Sharp. We are hanging out with you this evening, and I'm telling you, you thought you knew me. You thought you knew what we was about, and you thought you knew what we do. But I'm telling you, this season is bringing a whole lot of new elements to the indie evolution world and everybody that is a part of this indie evolution revolution. So I'm glad that you are in the building with us hanging out, because we're talking movies tonight, man. It's something that I don't really get to do all the time. I never really saw myself being involved the way that I've gotten to be involved with motion pictures and the people who make them and the behind-the-scenes things that go on every time that these movies are made. And I'm just so excited and geeked up to talk about this tonight. So I hope y'all ready to lock it in, loaded up. You know I got to do what I do each and every time I grace this mic. I got to give a shout-out to the Almighty Father, the man upstairs who allows us to have this platform, allows us to be in the building with you, allows you to be a part of all that goes on right here with Indie Evolution, your man J Sharp. And guess what, everybody? All our Facebook followers is about to love this one tonight, because I finally got her to sit down for a minute and hang out in the studio with your man. I got my lady, Miss Lisa Andrews, in the building. And see, for all of y'all that don't know about Lisa and what she really is about, she's into this movie thing more than you would even begin to imagine. So I'm going to let her be able to talk about what she got going on with this new movie that we're introducing to you this evening, publish this book, the honored, esteemed guest that we'll be interviewing this evening, Mr. Michael Givens. Man, it's just so, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so excited. I'm so geeked up. So, Lisa, I am going to let you be the first one, because we always are gentlemen around here and ladies first. Say hello to the audience and just let them know you're in the building.
Hello, everybody, and I'm glad to be here. And actually, glad to be on the radio for once with Jay live. So I just want to get a shout out to everyone. Hello.
Yeah, we are so glad to have Lisa in the building this evening. She has all these things to tell us and say when we get in here in the Real Talk conversation group, and we get to chatting on Facebook. She always trying to one up us fellas, but you know what? I got her number tonight, because I got another very, very important fella in the building with me this evening. So I think she gonna have to do more listening than talking, and when it's all said and done, and I think I might enjoy this one. But for right now, I have to introduce this gentleman that I have had the pleasure of speaking with on a couple of occasions. We have had some real intense conversations about things that your man just had no idea about. But I'm learning every day. I'm learning and getting better and getting stronger. And I have to credit Mr. Michael Givens for dropping some knowledge on me and, just kind of letting me know how this movie thing works. So I'm going to introduce my very, very special guest this evening, Mr. Michael Givens. He's going to introduce himself. He's going to kind of jump right into the first question that I'm asking him, because all we really want to know to jumpstart this thing off is about Michael. We want to know about Michael and how he got started making movies. So, Michael, the floor is yours. Please say hello to the audience.
Well, first, Jay, man, thanks for having me on. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. It's really a pleasure to sit and talk to you again, even in front of people. And howdy to all of those folks out there in Wonderland and people that enjoy movies. We hope that we can make a few more that you enjoy. So, Jay, what can I tell you?
Well, I mean, let's just jump right in. I just want to know more about Michael. I want to know, how you got started with getting into the movies? What even, what got you started?
Well, that's an interesting question because I grew up in the mountains of South Carolina, and there in the little town that I grew up in, they actually had a movie theater, but it had not shown a movie in, gracious, probably, I don't know, 10 years or so before I was born. And it used to just sit there at the end of Main Street and just taunt me. Eventually, they unfortunately tore it down and put up a Western Auto, which is, nothing against Western Auto, but a movie theater I think would serve better. And I always wanted to make movies since I was a little boy. And I found a place when I was in the 4th grade where I could order scripts from Los Angeles. Now, you got to understand, 4th grade was back in the middle of the 60s for me. And it has been a love affair ever since, and that's all that I've wanted to do, and I actually found myself doing it.
Wow. And, I love having these conversations because I always get such interesting information, about where people actually grew up in, the areas that they grew up in and the things that drive them into the professions that they now hold in this entertainment industry, and, just how they feel that things could be, can be served for a better purpose, for those in the community that don't necessarily have a whole lot to do in their respective areas. So, I think that's a really cool story, and the background is really, really cool. So I appreciate that. Well, I know
I ended up
Andrew. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I ended up going out to Los Angeles and serving my time out there and getting into the business. And then when I got married, I moved back to South Carolina. But these days, when I did it, you had to go out there in New York. It can be done elsewhere these days, but back then I had to do it. And it was very interesting. I loaded up my Volkswagen with all my worldly belongings, which was a bunch of books, clothes, record albums, and a pet ferret, and made that journey across the country.
Wow. Now, that just goes to show all of the artists that are tuned in and everybody that's listening. When you have a dream and you start out at the beginning stages of your dream, sometimes all it is your worldly belongings and your Volkswagen, and you are on the road and on your way. So, it's one of those things that you just have to really, when you have a passion for something, you have to really, get that stick-to-itiveness and that drive in you, and it'll take you a whole lot farther than you could ever imagine if you really just kind of stick to it. So, that is
you're right about that.
That we all try to, we all come from the same grain of sand as far as making this big old beach called the entertainment industry. So I think that's really, really cool. Now, Miss Lisa, I know you had a couple of questions that you was going to drop on Mr. Michael this evening. So, I think I got to give you the floor for this next question.
Well, basically, I wanted to ask Michael where, he got the inspiration to create, the movie project, publish this book.
Well, now there's another good question, because that actually is a project that came to me. I didn't invent it. It was brought to me by my friend Brett Cana, who is another fellow from South Carolina, and oddly enough, we went to the same high school about 20 years apart. And simply because I'm sort of the guy in South Carolina that's known for making movies, he called me up and said, would you consider doing this project? And we had a nice conversation, and he sent me the script, and I thought it was hilarious, and I desperately wanted to do it. And so we're very close to getting it all together, and hopefully we're going to be going to camera after the first of the year, and I think it's going to be a really good project.
You want to elaborate? I do know that Publish This Book is a romantic comedy.
Yeah, let me tell you the story of it. The story is, it's from a book, okay? There's an actual book called Publish This Book. It's written by a man named Stephen Markley. And the book is a story about a man getting that particular book published. Now, that may sound like it's not, so much, but it is hilarious what this guy goes through to get his book published. And in the movie, we will enhance the end of the book with the love interest in it. So he is basically chasing after this girl and wanting to impress her, and he wants to impress her with his prowess as a writer, and it's really hilarious, the things that he goes through to try to impress the girl and to get the book published. It's going to be quite good. We're going to be shooting in New Orleans, and the cast that we're looking at is John Goodman, Lucy Hale. We're hoping for Zac Efron, and I think it's going to be a winner. I really do. I think it's because the writing is impeccable, and we're having the script polished by Michael Grace, who has written so many films, and pretty much everybody that's listening to this will have seen his movies. Like he wrote Poltergeist and many other films, and feel free to look all of this up because you'll be able to follow it. We're also going to have this movie, the social media is going to be handled by an organization called U-Nation. That's U, like the letter U, Nation. It's a brand new social media network that it just went public about 3 weeks ago. So folks should check it out, go on it and look for me and connect with me, and let's build a following for this movie because I think you're going to love it.
That's cool. That's cool. I can't wait. I had the privilege to look over a few of the items that the movie package has consisted of, and I'm not now. Let me be the first one to tell y'all because this is real talk, and your man Jay Sharp always keeps it real. I am not a chick flick type of dude, but this one here, just like Michael said, I've seen where there's the comedy in it. I see the romance in it, and us guys, we good for falling into one or two chick flicks a month every now and again. Especially if we got somebody to cuddle up with and watch it and talk crazy to when we watching them about how much we don't like chick flicks. But that's just me. I'm just saying. So I'm personally looking forward to the movie myself because I do think that it is written very well. And
I think that you'll find. I think you'll find that it's going to be more like that movie, The Hangover, and it's just going to be one crazy antic after another that these poor guys get themselves into.
I could only imagine. Now, I tell you what, we are getting into all of this conversation and having a great time doing it. Let me do this real quick. I got to take a commercial break. We're going to hang on for a couple of minutes. You guys hang out for a couple of minutes. We'll be right back on the other side. This is Real Talk. Your man, Jay Sharp, in the building, Indie Evolution Online Radio and Promotions, LLC.
Business owners, there are over 40,000 IRS auditors, up from 1,500 just a few years ago. You have a 42% chance of being audited and a 40% chance of being sued in today's world. This means you have an 82% chance of something bad happening to you. If you can hear my voice, it's time to get serious. 2 pieces of paper filed with the Secretary of State and a tax ID does not make you a company. The number one way to lose an audit or a lawsuit is the fact you don't run your company like a company. You commingle personal and business funds, and there is zero separation from your personal and business life. We are celebrating our 15th year in business. Because of this, we are offering a free consultation for business owners in regards to their business structure. Don't be the last one without a chair when the music stops. You owe it to you and your family to give us a call today. 702-440-0202. That's 702-440-0202. Wealth Structures, where structure meets strategy. 702-440-0202.
You mean to tell me you haven't heard?
Heard about what?
about the hottest and fastest growing online radio station to hit the internet. We making big moves, what you talking about? Indie Evolution Online Radio is here, and we're giving you the hottest indie artists from all over the planet. Man, I love indie music. So make sure you tune in daily, starting at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we give you indie inspiration and praise. Then, at noon, we move right on in to the midday mix. At 3, we're giving you the late afternoon grind. Then, when it's time to get off work at 5, we're gonna get you home with the rush hour mix. So make sure you lock it in, load it up, and tune in to the hottest and fastest growing online radio station on the internet. www.ieonlineradio.com. Indie Evolution Online Radio. Indie Evolution.
And we're back. You know what? We are hanging out this evening. I got my girl Lisa Andrews in the building with us. I got Michael Givens in the building with us. Man, I feel like I'm already on the red carpet. We talking movies. We talking filming. We talking all the behind-the-scenes things that go on. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all ain't ready for this, man, this indie evolution. We're taking this to a whole nother level. I've been telling y'all, we're going into a whole different spectrums, TV, movies. Man, y'all just wait. Just wait. I don't want to get your heads all pumped up too fast. But while we here, you might as well enjoy what you're listening to, because when this movie hit the screen, you'll be able to say, you know what? I heard it on Indie Evolution first. So, hey, we are definitely having a good time hanging out. We are in the building. I got my man, Michael. Michael, I tell you what. Now, I know we was talking about, on the other side of the break, we were talking about, getting in to publish this book and everything, and the motivation and the inspiration behind it. But I want to know, because I know when you get driven in a business like this, when you become someone who just has a passion for making movies, I know you've got to have some favorite filmmakers that you either seen their movies, worked with them, been around them, got some knowledge from them. So tell me who some of your favorite filmmakers are.
Well, I tend to like a lot of the older filmmakers that are actually gone from us now, that are waiting for us on the other side. But one of my favorites that I've worked with, I spent a long time with Sir Ridley Scott. I was his cinematographer for quite a while, and he and I had a very good time together, but mainly I was just, my eyes and ears were open every second that I was with that man. He was an absolute genius, still is, of course. But that I would say that Ridley is my favorite.
Okay. And see now, I'm big on movies, and I know those names. I might not know the faces all the time until I see the name flash below the face on the ticker tape or something. But I do know the names when I hear them. And Sir Ridley Scott is a very, very powerful and very, very creative filmmaker that I've seen a few of his movies. So man, I could imagine just having the time to be able to have your ears and eyes open and be able to just soak up knowledge and information from somebody like that who's created such great movies.
Yeah, he's a genius. So he is really a genius.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He is. I have a quick question though, Jay. Michael. I mean, who was your biggest influence when you were, growing up? As far as the whole movie scene goes, I mean, did you have somebody that really inspired you?
Yeah, it was a fellow who never made a movie.
No,
it was a fellow who never made a movie. It was a fellow named Rembrandt. And I've been a student of art since as long as I can remember. And I started actually in my childhood because, obviously I wasn't making movies in Pickens, South Carolina, or Pascagoula, Mississippi, which is the other place I lived. And so I used to paint. And I studied artist. And I really believe that if Rembrandt was alive today, he'd be a filmmaker. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to sound unusual by not actually naming a filmmaker, because I certainly watched movies when I could when I was a child. But Rembrandt, I think, tells a story with light and composition that very few filmmakers are able to achieve with motion.
Exactly. And I know one of your one of my favorite pictures that you worked on was the Celestine Prophecies. You were the cinematographer on that film.
On which film? I'm sorry.
The Celestine Prophecies. And
oh, yeah, the Celestine Prophecies.
I will say that the cinematography was excellent on that film.
Well, that's very kind of you. That was a huge project to be involved with, though, because it was a very, very, very successful book. And they told me that they reckoned 40 million people had read the book. And it has, I think, 3 sequels after it. We were actually supposed to go do the sequel immediately, the first one, which was the 10th Insight. I was going to direct that and shoot it in North Carolina, and they decided not to do it, which was unfortunate, but, you know, that's the biz.
Well, I will say this. I do actually have that movie, and, I mean, the scenery alone in the movie is just it's breathtaking. I mean, it's beautiful. You're
very kind. Now, if people want to see any of this stuff, you know, we should just direct them to a place. You can go to my website and see some of it, which is michaelgivens.com. And you can see, she's talking about Celestine Prophecy. You can see the trailer there, but you can certainly pick it up from Amazon and often see it in Walmart, I believe. They carry it.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah, I think you can get it. Come by the house. I'll just give you a copy of it. I got it. But you see, I did commercials. I shot commercials for a long time, and I did about 1,000 TV commercials that I shot all over the world. And part of my look and my approach is that I shot mostly international work. You know, I spent a lot of time in Europe and Africa and Asia, and that has really been one of the major influences in the way that I look at things and the way that I, compose it and put crews together in the way that I, direct not just the actors but also the crew, is that whole European slant. And it's kind of weird when you mix the European influence with American, and you get kind of a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I hope you do.
You've also done music videos as well, correct?
Yeah, I've done a few of them. I did one recently for Lone Star, a country music video for a song called Maybe Someday, and it did pretty good. I did some stuff with Two Live Crew and Ice T. That was interesting. Ice T was he was really he was a treat to work with. I quite liked him. He was very professional, and we got some good stuff out of that. Some of the other people that were hanging out were somewhat interesting.
And that's crazy, because I've always heard, just in Ice-T in general, I've always heard that he was a very easy celebrity to work with, so to speak, just based upon all that he's accomplished in both music and television and movies.
Yeah, he was a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that several times, that he's a real pleasure to work with and be around, on set. He has a lot of knowledge that he's willing to pass along as well.
Yeah, and he's a professional.
Well, that's pretty cool.
He doesn't goof around. There was some other people on that set that were less than that, but he was amazing.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, I do want to ask this question because, and I want to equate it to the music industry and the music business, and how a lot of the indie artists that are coming through here and using our platform and things like that are doing things. Because I know that, as an artist, you set specific goals that you want to accomplish in recording singles and recording albums or mixtapes or whatever it is that you record. Now, on the flip side of that, in the movies, what type of goals do you set for yourself in creating a movie? Like, say, of course, publish this book, which is what we're really talking about this evening. Mm-hmm. So what kind of goals have you set for yourself for this movie? And I guess it's a two-sided question, because I also want to know, what type of audience do you really look to target with this type of project?
Well, since I have become also a producer of my work, am the producer of this film. I have a few other films that are lined up and very close to being ready to go. And since I wasn't always the producer. I was started out as a cinematographer, and actually I did not. I started out as a guy picking up cigarette butts on the set and keeping the coolers full of soft drinks and that sort of thing, like everybody else. And I worked my way up.
Damn, we all start somewhere.
I know it. And I then became a cinematographer, and it was actually Ridley Scott that talked me into directing. Yeah, I was about to move to Paris, and he found out about it and had me come in his office and set me down and said, "Son, you need to be a director. You don't need to be running off to Paris." And when he said it, I had to kind of listen to it. But anyway, and now that I'm producing, there's something that's very important that is kind of all pervasive. I did this movie a few years ago called Angel Camouflaged. It's not out yet. It's coming out soon, I hope, and it's full of music, chock full. It's got the Marshall Tucker Band, Curtis Blow, Patti Smythe, and there's a really wonderful woman named Delana. Delana was in a reality show some years ago called Rockstar Supernova, and she is unbelievably talented, wrote 9 songs for this movie, and both Marshall Tucker and Curtis Blow both did 2 songs, and Curtis Blow did, well, I shouldn't tell you because you should wait and see the movie, but it's funny what those 2 bands did. It'll open your eyes. But the point that I'm making is that on that movie, as a producer, I raised the money. I went and sat down with somebody and talked them into writing a check for millions of dollars. And so I take it to heart as to what's going to happen with this movie. My goal is to make the absolute best movie that I can possibly make, but I have to constantly bear in mind a major part of that goal is to make sure that my investors get their money back, because I hope to be able to work with them again. I want to go back to them and say, look, that was a success, let's go try another one. And if I sit down, maybe it's just my upbringing or whatever, but I can't cheat people. If I talk to somebody about getting involved with a project, I need to take it to the point that it's going to be viable to go into the theater and make that person's money back and hopefully a profit. Because so that is a big part of the goal. You know, there's so many hats that I have to wear. That's the producer's goal. The director's goal is that I make a movie that hopefully, 100 years from now, people still enjoy watching. And, it's just about storytelling. As a cinematographer, I want people to feel an emotion just by looking at a picture, whether it's because of the coloring or because of, where the light is and how it's falling on somebody's face. All of that is important, which gives me a whole group of goals. But mainly, I want to tell a strong story that people will enjoy, and that it will help them in their lives. Not that I'm not saving lives, but if somebody feels good after they see a movie, or feels an emotion that helps them in their life, and I think I've done something.
And that's true. Jay, I would like to actually touch, Michael was, talking about, publish this book being a romantic comedy. But, I mean, and it is, but it's speaking, on a woman's point of view of the movie, basically, the main character, he falls head over heels in love. It's kind of like love at first sight. And, he ventures out on a new journey. He actually follows this girl to New Orleans. And basically what he's doing is he's doing everything, to win her heart. So, what girl doesn't like that? I mean, it's, all these women out there, they want to believe in fairy tales, and it will be.
Who says that chivalry isn't dead?
Yeah, well, he's gonna do everything wrong to win her heart.
But see, isn't that what us guys do though most of the time? Don't we end up doing all the wrong stuff to try to win the heart?
Yes, but then in reality, the women love it, so.
Yeah, but you see, that's all part of storytelling for a movie. And let me tell you, I did TV commercials for a very long time, and they're completely different. And this is funny. You tend to see TV commercials, except for, there's a lot of them. Okay, since I don't make commercials anymore, I can really bash them and say that nobody knows how to do it right anymore. But it used to be, back in the golden days, that we would go to the Caribbean or the South Pacific, or some beautiful town in Europe, or we go to Africa, or someplace to shoot this really amazing, gorgeous scenery with really amazing, gorgeous people wearing all the really amazing, gorgeous clothes, and whatever their product is really amazing and gorgeous. And the viewer is meant to look at that and say, "Wow, I wish that was me." Well, if I go get that, wear that shirt or those socks or buy that insurance or whatever, I can live a life like that. Well, okay, probably not true, but that's the idea. In a movie, the idea is exactly the opposite. You're basically, for most feature films, most stories, you're going to take somebody, and hopefully an average sort of person that people can relate to, and you're going to put them in a horrible situation. And then the viewer is going to sit there and go like, "Wow, I'm glad that's not me. I wonder how he's going to get out of that."
Right, that's true.
And that'll be the same story of this young.
That's very true.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and this will be the same story of this young fella. He sees this girl, he sees that he's at a wedding, and he sees this girl, and he falls head over heels and says, "Oh my goodness, who is that girl?" And his best friend is standing and says, "Hey, you silly knucklehead, that's my little sister. You've watched her grow up." That's and he doesn't even recognize her because she has grown up. So he goes over to talk to her, and she says, "What have you been doing? Everybody assumed that you would be off in New York, as the greatest writer, in this century. And what are you doing?" And really, what he's doing is he's sleeping on his friend's couch, and he's procrastinating, and he's writing reviews in Cars.com or something like that, and he's basically a failure. And he realizes right then. Now he's got an impetus to not be a failure. She's in New Orleans going to college at Tulane and studying art, and he decides he's got to chase her there. So he announces to his friends, some days later, that he's going to the literary mecca of America, the Paris of the New World, New Orleans. And he jumps on his little Ural motorcycle, which is an old Russian copy of a BMW, 1940-something style with a sidecar. And his friends decide that they want to go, and so one of them gets in the sidecar. The other one happens to have a 125cc Suzuki, and they're going to make that trek from somewhere in Ohio all the way to New Orleans. And just the trip itself is going to be hilarious. And then his mentor, who is his college professor, his literary professor, who we're hoping is going to be played by John Goodman, is from New Orleans, and he can't stand it. He has to go help. And they get in the middle of crazy voodoo ceremonies, and they are doing all sorts of crazy things that young people do when they go away. And he's trying to find this girl and trying to impress her, and it will be one crazy mishap after another.
It sounds fun. It really does. I'm telling you, I can't wait. I cannot wait, and I hope everybody y'all keep it locked. Y'all make sure you keep your eyes peeled, because Publish This Book is coming out. Now, we got to get ready to wrap this thing up. But before we go, I want to give Miss Andrews a little bit of time. You got something you want to let everybody know, what you got going on? Just tell us what's going on in Lisa's world.
Oh, well, we're going to wrap with Publish This Book, and it's going to be kind of funny because we're going from a romantic comedy straight into, the Von Erich's the movie. So it's that's a big difference there. But Michael will also produce the Von Erich's movie, so we are looking forward to that. And I'm sure y'all been keeping up. We've had a couple of radio shows and a live chat with Kevin Von Erich himself. So it's moving right along, Jay.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And quickly, actually. Very quickly.
That should be a lot of
That's
fun.
what happens. Yeah, that's what happens when good things are happening to good people, see?
Yeah, and they are happening.
Good. That's good. That's good. I tell you, we have definitely been looking forward to the Von Erich story, and I know all of our wrestling fans out there, y'all stay tuned, because it's not going to be your regular documentary about wrestlers and this, that, and the other, and how they go through their pains and aches. This is going to be, from what I understand, this is going to be a very intricate sit down and be able to relate to the Von Erichs and who they are. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that as well. And you hit the nail on the head, Lisa, when you said it is a definite change in contrast from a romantic comedy to a movie about wrestling. So,
yeah.
Exactly.
And to be honest, it's a very human story. There's that family has suffered greatly, even though they had a lot of fame and fortune. They suffered greatly. And that's what the story is about. It's about human suffering, which I think we can all relate to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, I believe we all can relate to that, to pain and suffering. So now, before we do get up out of here, Michael, I got one more question for you. I want to know, because we done talked it up all evening long, and I'm getting more and more excited about publishing this book. When is the movie scheduled to start shooting? And, when do you hope that we can start looking forward to come out in theaters?
Well, sir, I'm hoping that we'll start shooting by mid-February, and it could be as late as the 1st of March. And then I'll have a 35-day shoot, so that translates to about a month and a half, at least 7 weeks. And then I'll have about that much time again in the edit. We'll have some other post-production and music. The composers will need to add their stuff. I would say that we'll look for a fall release. And I already have a distribution deal, so it's guaranteed that it's going to be in the cinema. And it's just once you get to that point where you know that the film is going to be ready at a certain time, what you want to do is try to find the slot, where you can get the time in cinemas. And we'll do a nationwide release with this one. It's going to have enough behind it, so it'll be nationwide. So wonderful. You should hear a lot about it.
Good deal, good deal. So that means everybody, wherever you are, whatever small town you live in, if you can get to the city next to you, if it ain't in your town, then make sure you get there, because it's going to be nationwide. It is time to publish this book, everybody. You know what? We almost got out of here without doing something that is very, very important. Michael, before we get out of here, I want you to give everybody all of your links and let them know how to get in contact with you, follow the movie, publish this book, and just stay in contact with everybody.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. You can follow me on Twitter, which is M. Givens Director. That is the letter M, Givens Director, Dirececter. You'd think I know how to spell it. And you can follow me on UNation, which is unation.com/Michael Givens. And go to my Facebook page and like me. All right? I'll like you back.
Okay. And also you have published this book, Michael. Published this book is also on Facebook.
That's right.
Well.
So follow us on Facebook.
Make sure.
That's right.
Everyone, y'all make sure y'all connect with. Go ahead. What you say, Lisa?
Actually, yes, it's published this book. Jay, you're actually on that page as well. And also we do have the Von Erichs, the movie page that you can follow.
Yeah, I'm on that
well.
one too.
Yes, you are. You're the man.
And,
absolutely.
And Jay,
everybody make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a website as well, right? I'm sure everybody knows about that.
I do. And everybody, they should be sitting on it right now, www.ieonlineradio.com.
There you go.
So, hey, you better be here.
Give it a shout out.
And
Absolutely.
I think everybody knows how to get in touch with me. Lisa Renee Andrews on Facebook.
Yeah, Lisa Renee Andrews. Make sure you go follow Lisa. She be having a lot of go. All you ladies out there. Now, see, this is one I'll be giving y'all for free because most of the time I just forward them out there because they end up on my page. But for all you ladies out there, Lisa got all the hot actors, all the hot wrestlers that y'all like to gaze upon and daydream about them being your baby daddies. So y'all make sure y'all go follow Lisa because she got all the pictures, all the stuff y'all want to see. Now I done put it out there, so now y'all can't ask me what you be posting these wrestlers and stuff for. It's not for me, it's for y'all. So just enjoy.
Right, and they can also find me on Twitter at Lisa Andrews PR. So
there it is. And I guess since we on the topic, you know, if you ain't already sent me a friend request, JAYSHARP on Facebook, you can go over and like the Indie Evolution Radio and Promotions LLC page, and we'll make sure to hit your back on there. Follow the station and the shows on Twitter at IE Radio 1. And for all my business people, you ready to get your commercials on the station? You ready to start promoting on this platform? All you got to do is hit me up on LinkedIn at IE Radio 1. We make sure we keep it simple. We keep it plain. That way you know how to get a hold to us. So, once again, this is your man, Jay Sharp. Real talk. We're getting ready to get up out of here. We fading to black.